Welcome to the channel, everybody. So today we're going to be taking a look at 6.3.4, where we will have the Ironman Infinity War as our boss. Now this one, the nice thing about it is that the path that we're going to be taking does not have path nodes on it. The only thing that you will have to be worrying about is the individual nodes for each fight, so you can bring in champions specifically for those fights. But you do want to bring in some high damage dealers for that final fight against Ironman Infinity War. So let's take a look at what I decided to go with here. So I decided to go with just an all 5-star team. Obviously, you guys know I have plenty of 6 stars and leveled up that I could do this differently with, but wanted to go ahead and go with the straight 5-star team just to show you guys that a good group of leveled up 5 stars can do this. Now, I did bring in Heimdall even as a 5-star, in spite the fact that he does, I don't have him leveled up whatsoever, so he's really only a factor for the synergy purposes here, whereas that not only will he keep us alive at the end of the fight there by giving us that unblockable and that last minute burst of immortality, which is really great with champions like Corvus because of the fact that that's going to give him 2 chances to survive the fight even longer. But then also on top of that too, off the dashback and block with the Loki synergy in there, we can regain 20% of our health. So there are plenty of chances along the path that I'm going to take to be able to get my glaive charges up, as well as I wanted to make sure that I had somebody who was poison and bleed immune, which is why we brought in Ultron. And finally, we have the remainder of the fights will give Aegon a chance to build up his charges as well. Now, for the Ironman Infinity War fight, you're going to want to make sure that you have some high damage dealers in there, and we'll talk about why with his nodes here in just a second. So let's go ahead and get into it and take a look at the nodes. So right off the bat here, we have Abomination. Now, Abomination does have Toxic Splash, which means every time he activates a special, he can remove all the poison charges that are on you and then deal 65% of his attack as direct damage. This is why I wanted to make sure I had a poison immune champion in, because then I don't have to worry about that whatsoever. He also has enhanced poison and outlast, so he gets a damage reduction up to 20%. So again, this is somebody that it can be a little bit longer of a fight, especially making sure that you're getting a high damage dealer in there. But having somebody that's poison immune can be a major factor for this fight. After this fight, we went on to Iron Patriot, who has enhanced armor break, stupefy, and recovery. So he gets increased healing. He can break your armor more, and on top of that, he can keep you stunned for longer. So outside of that, he's fairly just a straightforward fight. You can consider bringing in somebody that has heal block or heal reversal, but at the same time, this was a great opportunity to get my first glaive charge, which is what I looked at him as. After this, we go on to the Rhino fight. Now, Rhino does have enhanced fury, plus on top of that, he's bleed and stun immune. So this obviously is a good spot for Aegon. Went ahead and just used this as a good chance to build up some of his charges. After this, we go to Falcon. Another good chance to get some glaive charges, being that he is an Avenger. He has enhanced bleed, enhanced debuff duration, and every 2 seconds he gets a precision charge, which grants him 25% increased chance to for crit. But every time you hit him, you can remove one of those charges off of him. So the more that you can get in there and just constantly pummel on him, the less you have to worry about that. After that, we went on to the Superior Iron Man fight, who has enhanced armor up, enhanced armor break, and mystic ward. So the biggest thing to worry about is that you cannot nullify him, which is fine. You can either bring in somebody that can neutralize him, or as you can see here, I have Loki in. easy enough. Don't have to worry about too much there. And on top of that, I can buff steal him. After this, we go into the Groot fight, which Groot has bloodletting, enhanced armor, and increased healing. Outside of that, Groot is still just your normal fight. Not a big deal, easy enough to get through. After the Groot fight, we have the Hulkbuster fight, who has enhanced armor up, enhanced armor break, and plague minded. So every 20 seconds, he's going to drain your power bars. So either you want somebody that can ramp up quickly as far as their power gain, somebody who only needs their special one, or as I did, go with Corvus. Another opportunity for 2 charges out of 1. Obviously, you will have both of them still already by this point if you took advantage of the Falcon and the Iron Patriot fight, but that means he's coming in here with 2 glaive charges already, so we'll just go ahead and work our way directly through him. Next, we go over to the Punisher fight, who has enhanced bleed, fury, and crits. So always one of those things, if you can do a bleed immune champion, easy enough fight. Lastly, before the boss, we will be looking at the Spider-Man fight, who has enhanced armor break and crits, as well as being bleed immune. So, don't worry about a bleed champion here, but at the same time, this was our final chance to get glaive charge, because he is an evade champion, so that will get us our 3rd one. Unfortunately, this path didn't have a mutant for us to get the final charge out of, but that still puts us with 3 charges, which puts us dealing high damage going into the Ironman Infinity War fight. And then we get over here to the Ironman Infinity War fight. You do need to keep in mind that for this fight, he cannot have his healing reversed, so Void is completely out as far as that goes. He is immune to armor break, so again, why you need to be able to punch through the armor, because he is so high armor. It does have such a higher armor rating anyways. And then he has enhanced armor up, which is just going to increase that armor anyways. This is why, like I said, you want some high damage dealers, some people that can just go in there and take chunks out of him at a time. He also has improved power gain, which means that he is going to be getting to his specials faster, which is something to worry about as well. Finally, he has the Arc Overload, which every 20 seconds he gains another armor up buff and regens 25% of his max health over a 6-second period. So this is, again, like I said, he's going to be high. You're going to need to take huge chunks off of him at a time. But we were able to get through this one fairly quickly. So let's go ahead and take a look at the fights themselves. Okay, so right off the bat here, I brought in Ultron for the Abomination fight. Obviously, we can still bleed Ultron, and he can't poison us. So those are 2 great factors here. Gives me a great opportunity. Plus, on top of that, with my Ultron being awakened and high sig, he has great regen. So even if we get caught up a few times here, we have multiple opportunities to keep ourselves alive between the regen that he comes with off of being knocked down below 40, and once again knocked down below 25% health. And then finally, we do have the ability to do the dash back and hold block to trigger the Heimdall Loki synergy. And finally, even if we go through all of those regens and somehow still had not taken Abomination down, we would have had the last second burst of Unstoppable and Immortality to give us an extra few seconds at the end to get that last hit off. But we obviously didn't need that. We were able to get through him fairly easy. Did take quite a bit of damage. You saw me trigger the regen a few times here. Okay, so again, we went in with Corvus. Now, recently I had someone comment on one of my previous videos that there is a better way to ramp him up when you are trying to get through, when you don't have any glaive charges on him yet. So that you can get through these first couple fights a little easier. Being that if you do medium, light, medium combos, it will actually take more damage on a regular basis, and you can go through those first 20 charges right off the bat, and that'll help you get through this a little bit faster. Unfortunately, that hint was given to me after I had already done this level. So we'll be looking at that in some future time periods when we decide to revisit Corvus again. Now, again, like I said, I've always had one of those things where the first couple fights with Corvus, he is just not anywhere near as good as he truly is. So sometimes they can be a little bit of pain. So we did revive back up and come back in so that we could finish off Iron Patriot and get that first charge. Cut it a little bit close. Unfortunately, we let him build up to that special 3 and took that, but the Heimdall Loki synergy were able to save us there. Finally, next we went into the Rhino fight here. Like I said, this is a great chance for me to just go ahead and put a work on getting my combo up. Now, the downside to this is I normally try and bring in Star-Lord so that I have the combo shield there. Rhino was really aggressive in this fight, so I was having some problems at first on getting the combo built up there and retaining it. You can see on several occasions here I'm getting up to 11 to 15 hits, and then I slip up and let him catch me, and we go right back down. But we went ahead and pummeled our way through the fight and continued to build up, continued to try and build up that combo so that we could transfer some of it into the next one. Unfortunately, I did get caught on that one, so we went ahead and went down again, revived, and came back in because we were sticking to the plan. Could have probably switched over to Ultron or even Loki here and finish the fight without having to revive, which after a second attempt with Aegon, because we still weren't getting those combos the way I was looking for, and Ultron I knew we had multiple chances of the regen off of, went ahead and brought him in so that we could finish this fight. Didn't go the smoothest, I wouldn't say, but we were able to go ahead and get Rhino down. I have been advised that, to be truthful with you, with some of these unstoppable champions, if you're having problems with them, look at somebody like Shang-Chi, who has the slow ability, and that will help you deal with it a little bit better. So then we went on to the Falcon fight here. Obviously, we brought Corvus in so that we could get our next glaive charge. Went in... we healed up before we went in, obviously, so that we could come in healthy on this, knowing very well that with Falcon having that increased bleed, we didn't want to have him eat what little health we had and have to revive. So why not just go ahead and come in with the that extra bit. We almost got him there on the first go, but we did end up having to revive anyways and heal up. But you can see here, we just quickly came back in and finished him. Next, we had the Superior Iron Man fight. I brought in Loki for this one because, again, I can buff steal him, keeping his armor lower so that I can go ahead and punch through him. Plus, on top of that, with his special 2, it's unblockable. So even if I end up building up to that, we have... it actually benefits us. And then off of his special 1, if you're not aware, Loki Awakened has power gain to the special 1, so you can easily go through build up your specials over and over again. Like I said, I've mentioned it on several occasions. I'm a huge fan of Loki, especially with the Heimdall synergy. You can see there he did take us on the SP3, but because of the synergy, we were able to not only survive that SP3, but turn around and regen back up. We were getting a little low on health there, so we did the dash back and heal, or dash back and block to get the heal there. And he still caught us, but we were able to come back in off of a single revive and finish him up. Now, I went ahead and again brought in Loki for the group fight because I knew I could steal enough of his regen to regen Loki back up quite a bit without having to use any potions for this fight. As you can see right here, we've already stole most of his abilities, including the regen. So I'm just trying to build him back up to that SP1 again and get him to do the regen. Obviously, he doesn't do it off of every SP1, but it is quite often that you can get him on that SP1. And, so he's always got his buffs up easily enough. Again, this is why I love Loki, is because of the ability to just go ahead and take everything away from everybody, keep them at their base forms, and on top of that, to benefit for yourself off of your own regen. Now, we didn't get him in one go there, so we brought in Corvus just to clean it up, and then took Corvus on to the Hulkbuster fight. Obviously here, like I said, we already have our 2 charges built up, so the Hulkbuster fight went clean and quickly. As I mentioned for the Punisher fight, as long as you're avoiding, if you're coming in with a bleed immune champion, such as Ultron here, you can pretty much go through quite a bit of it. Outside of that, it's just the Furies and the crits, so do your best to keep him under control, keep him pinned, and do most of the damage yourself. Obviously, the only other thing that you ever have to worry about with Punisher is his last hurrah when you get him down to that 1% health, and he does get that indestructible timer for the last bit of the fight. So it's pretty much just keep yourself alive until that timer runs out, and you're done. Came into the Spider-Man fight looking for our last glaive charge. Already got him to evade us a few times, so we're just looking for an opportunity to get him knocked down, either off of a heavy or off of my special here. And took that right there, picked up our last charge. Now, Spider-Man was being really aggressive on this fight, so do be careful on that. Between his evade and a massive amount of aggression, it can be a pain to keep him off of you. But because I had already gotten the glaive charge, I went ahead and brought in again Ultron, because with his regen abilities, he can survive quite a bit more of the fight, and finished him off, knowing that we were going to have to heal up probably anyways. Now, for this final fight, I did switch out Heimdall and lost my synergy, but I switched him out for Magneto. Obviously, Magneto, even with the class disadvantage, is a god tier against any metal champion. So we went ahead and brought him in to look at just this particular fight, knowing that we had Ultron in the waitings. Aegon, unfortunately, we had no charges on, but we did have Corvus Glaive if we absolutely needed him. So we went on ahead and, like I said, built up the prowess charges, got up to the SP3, went ahead and activated that, and watched his health just deplete. Quick, simple, easy, one and done. And that's all she wrote, folks. So we were able to finish this up. This one is a fairly straightforward level. It's really easy to get through, especially if you can look at the having champions for the particular path that'll walk you through the fights. As you can see here, we did go through a few revives. Not necessarily that we absolutely had to, but at the same time, we were looking absolutely great on this one, and it was a great, quick level to get through. So you guys can really enjoy this one on the next one. This one will be a great chance for you to, just kind of push through and not get as discouraged as some of these other fights that are coming up. But we will have those out here shortly. I want to thank everybody for liking and subscribing. And I will see you guys back in the next video. Peace out.